Over 230 million tons of trash or garbage are produced in the US every year. Think about the impact that that 230 million tons has on our Earth and on our daily lives. I know you're all familiar with the phrase going green, but there are a lot of people who think that it's not enough. One individual's efforts are not enough to fix our deteriorating environment. But I believe that that is not true. I think the quickest and easiest way to reduce your carbon footprint is to recycle. It has multiple benefits for everyone, and it's truly a step in the right direction. And I'm going to talk to you about the negative effects that trash has on our health and on our environment. I'm going to share with you how recycling can change those negative effects, how easy it is to recycle, and that it's completely worth the effort in a lot of ways. According to technology and engineering teacher Diana Cantu, each American produces approximately 4.5 pounds of trash every single day, which consequently then makes the United States the culprit for producing more trash than any other planet, or any other country on the planet. I think you'd all agree with me, trash is disgusting. It's dirty and it smells and it attracts rodents and bugs and anything gross that you could possibly think of. And it creates a really dirty environment that's unsanitary and hazardous to our health. Now maybe your household keeps your trash nice and neat as possible, but think about your neighborhood as a whole. You don't know what your neighbors are throwing away. You don't know how they're keeping tidy or not. And does anyone have children living in their neighborhood? I have a lot of kids living on my cul-de-sac, and if you don't know, they run around, they touch things that aren't theirs, they play in the dirt, they play in the mud. You know, they spread a lot of germs. They come home, eat, or touch doorknobs or whatever it is, and they don't think about it, they don't wash their hands, they don't know. And not just children, but there's a lot of ways that diseases and germs are spread, and a lot of it comes from the trash that builds up. Not only that, but think about the effect that trash has on our planet. Green Waste Recovery research states that if we could recycle just 1 ton of paper, we could save 3.5 cubic yards of landfill, 7,000 gallons of water, 4,100 kilowatts of energy, and at the same time eliminate 60 pounds of air pollutants. Now, if that's all we can do with just recycling 1 ton of paper, think about the effect that is put on our Earth when we're not recycling anything, or when we're barely recycling anything at all. It's a huge global impact on our land, but also in our seas as well. I mean, we all know that pollution usually makes its way to the ocean, and it creates these islands of debris. And the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, in an article they wrote, talks about one island called the Great Pacific Trash Patch. Now get this, it is twice the size of Texas, floating in the Pacific somewhere between San Francisco and Hawaii, made up of 80% plastic, and it weighs 3.5 million tons in our ocean of trash, of pollution, of debris. It's ridiculous, and it sounds impossible, but it's true. And can you think about the negative impact that those floating islands, that one in particular, has on marine life? It's so sad to think that there are animal creatures, sea creatures, living in their natural environment, just trying to swim and live and eat, and they're surrounded by piles and piles of trash that we put there because we didn't have enough room on our land. It's so sad. And Green Waste Recovery research also shows that plastic bags and other plastic garbage thrown into the ocean kill as many as 1 million sea creatures every single year. If we were to start recycling, we can slowly start to diminish those numbers and create a cleaner, healthy environment for ourselves as well as the animals that we live with. Now that I've explained how huge our carbon footprint currently is, I'm going to tell you about the 3 R's and how they help reduce that carbon footprint. Speaking of reduce, the first R stands for reduce. Source reduction just means consuming less and ultimately throwing away less. It helps conserve our resources, reduce pollution, and it goes a long way toward protecting human health and our environment. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency suggests that you purchase durable, long-lasting goods and try to buy products that are as free of toxins as possible. The second R stands for reuse. Reusing items simply means repairing them, donating them, or selling them instead of just throwing them away. Some may even say that this step is better than recycling because the items don't need to be reprocessed before they can be used. A couple examples of reusable items in daily life are durable coffee mugs, or refilling your water bottle instead of throwing it away and getting a new one, or boxes or containers that you use for packing or for leftover food even. And of course, the final R stands for recycling. Recycling means turning in materials that would otherwise become a waste and they are turned into valuable resources. I have a fact about recycling from dosomething.org. If all of our newspapers were recycled, we could save about 250 million trees a year. That is a huge impact that recycling has, and it's so easy to recycle. It's literally so easy. In my household, I know that we have a trash bin, a recycling bin, paper. We have separate little bins for all of them. And I'm telling you that it's just as easy to throw your empty soda can into the recycling bin as it is to throw it in the trash. It takes no effort at all. And your cities make it just as easy. They give you different trash receptacles for your trash and your recyclables and your green plant stuff. They separate it for you and they collect it for you. So it's not like it takes any effort at all. It's so easy and it has such a positive impact. Now, since I touched on some benefits, I'd like to talk about financial benefits. I don't know if you all know this, but you can turn in your recyclables and get paid for them. If you didn't know that, there are recycling centers all over the place, open every single day, and you take your materials and they weigh it and they give you money based on how much you bring in. And that's just a really quick and easy way to make some cash. I've done it. I know a lot of people who do it, and specifically my younger sister right now is saving up for a trip to Europe at the beginning of summer. She doesn't have a job, but what she's been doing is taking her recycling in every couple of weeks. She gets the money and saves it, and she's already halfway to her financial goal, if not more than that, just by taking in our recyclables. And especially with the holidays coming up, there's a lot of parties, and even year-round there's a lot of parties. And if you just set your trash can right here and set another bag or something that said bottles and cans, people would just throw it into the appropriate box. It'd be so easy, and you already have it collected, and then you just take it in and you get paid for it. Not only that, but we're creating jobs because there are employees running these recycle centers, and if we continue to recycle, then they'll continue to have their job. So not only are we recycling to save the environment and create raw valuable materials, but we also are providing income for others as well as supplemental income for ourselves if we choose to do that. According to Natural Health and Wellness magazine, approximately 80% of what Americans throw away could be recycled. Unfortunately, only 28% of those materials are actually recycled by us. Comparatively, in Europe, Austria is currently the leading country in recycling efforts, with 60% of their waste being recycled. Now, 60 compared to our 28%, kind of pathetic. I don't know if you know this, but in many countries there are financial penalties associated with the amount of trash that you throw away. And that's kind of a unique, interesting way that these countries are encouraging their citizens to recycle and take care of their environment. Not that we in the United States need any more taxes or expenses, but I almost wish we kind of had something like that going on, just if nothing else to make people more conscious of how much they're consuming and ultimately how much they're throwing away. There are a lot of people who believe that recycling won't do anything, that our environmental problems are going to continue to get worse, and I completely disagree with that. I don't think that's true at all. I think recycling is completely worth the effort. It can make a difference, like I've shown you, and there's so many positive effects, most of which I've mentioned already. It saves energy, it reduces the trash and debris level, it conserves our Earth's limited resources, it protects human health, it protects marine life, and it creates jobs. I mean, that's like 5 or 6 positive effects right there with almost no effort at all, just separating the trash and the recyclables. I haven't been able to find one negative impact that recycling has in all my research. I can't come up with one. I don't think there is one. It's entirely beneficial, contrary to some people's doubts. And as small of a step as it seems, it's still something in the right direction. And if every single person recycled, then everyone would have a smaller carbon footprint, and we'd be that much closer to a cleaner, greener environment.
So Kyle, what did you think?
Hey, Taylor, I really didn't find any real negatives about your speech, frankly. You had great volume, your great voice volume.